Alright, before I get into the video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you I'm pretty proud, to be honest, and I think it's really cool. But I'm gonna show you the setup, our setup. So we don't go to the gym. You know, they're all saying, go to the gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. So what my kids did, and you know, they live with me, which is cool because I'm helping them out. They're helping me out as well. So they ended up buying a bench. You know, it goes along with my punching bag. And we got some dumbbells, so we do the dumbbells and everything like that. And I'll show you like a little bit of. It's I might add a little bit extra, but we're not gonna go too hard. But you got some posters on the wall. There's a scale. It's got that. You know, it got it's some visuals. Jack Dempsey, obviously Connor. Got the UFC. Arnold. So I messed up his last name, and I don't want YouTube to, whatever YouTube. So it's some inspiration. You know what I mean? It's like it's a dungeon. This is so masculine. It's so much more masculine than going to an actual gym. You know, part of the problem going to a real gym nowadays is you have women filming themselves. And one of the big problems for me when I was going to the gym is like, I go there and I like to work out alone. I've always liked to work out alone. I see, because they were really provocative things at the gym. So I feel uncomfortable. Like, I'm doing my workout, I finish my workout, and there's a equipment that they're over there working out by, and I never really felt comfortable going over there into their space while they were doing it's just like, I just don't want to deal with that. So like, I think this is a good thing, because I want to get in shape. I'm about like bettering yourself, you know, and if you see anything like me complaining about these, it's just because I get tired of seeing like, whoa, self-improvement. So it's like, stop pushing it so much. You know what I mean? It's kind of like too much. You're doing too much. Oh, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to like turn your life around overnight like they try to make you feel. So I got the Rocky poster as well, Kurt Cobain poster, and I'm trying to. I don't want my kids. I don't want you guys to see my kids because I don't think they want to be on the internet or on my channel. So I try to respect. So I want to talk about the flock cameras and the government surveillance that is in the data centers as well. You know, there's this. It is all the rage right now, and I just got back on Twitter. Just like here, you know, I haven't posted for a while. I was pretty much observing. YouTube, I really, like I said in my last video, I haven't really been paying attention too much to YouTube because it kind of seems boring, and it's just, they're promoting the people I really, you know, people like me should be promoted, to be quite frank. But they don't want the truth tellers, and they probably look at me as a threat. Not a violent, nothing like that, but they change the perspective of people. That like influence. They don't want somebody like me to have influence. That's quite apparent. So, you know, all the rage, maybe it's all clickbait, the data centers and the flock cameras and the government surveillance, and you know, I'm a person that's all about freedom and stuff like that, but I also recognize that in a society, we have to have laws. We can't just have anarchy. And I look at the way society has shaped itself. I'm used to going out in public and you know, I am pretty comfortable being watched. I feel like I'm being watched wherever I go. I don't even think about it anymore. And it's so weird that these people are so, like, they're posting all this stuff about the flock cameras. Oh, they're government surveillance, and it's like, but you're literally using a smartphone as you post this. You know what I mean? Like, you're making your videos and uploading them using a smartphone probably, or you're on Twitter or your TikTok. I don't know if you can make TikToks off of the computer, but chances are most of these people are using a smartphone. And what do you think the government's? They're probably surveillancing us with our own smartphones. And you have this, like, you're a part of society, and it's just so weird for them to be so anti-surveillance when it's already been happening. It's so weird to me. And another thing too, like, you have to assume everyone has a ring, like a door ring. You know what I mean? What is it called? Like the little camera on the doorbell thing, where people. You see it all the time with like a car crash or something like that, and like you see the camera on the front of somebody's house capturing what happened. So we have that as well. So like, and then basically everybody has one of these. So like they're surveillancing you. They can film you. And it's so weird that they're just like, oh my God, the flock cameras. What do you care? Like, are you trying to break the law? Are you trying to, you know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Why is it being pushed in the algorithm? It's so perplexing to me. The way social media works, and maybe they're just getting pushed in the algorithm, and that's why they're all gung-ho about against the flock cameras. And it's so weird because a lot of the people, I agree with a lot of the things they're like, oh my God, flock cameras. That's cool, but I don't care. Am I for them? No, but I don't care. I prefer to live in a civilized society, and if it helps keep things civilized, cool. It's so weird that these people are against the data centers. Like, they don't think ahead at all. Like, this is where we're going, and you don't have to be a part of this. You can go buy some land, start your own community there. You can get into a small town where they don't have this type of stuff. You don't have to live in a city, you know what I mean? But they want to. So they want to especially like with what's going on and I have to be careful about how I talk about this, especially with what the Republicans did when they sold out to Israel and tried to merge our military with Israel's. And these people are worried about data centers, which are coming anyway. Okay, so let's say you stop the data centers. The data centers aren't here now. And it's like, okay, then I guess you're gonna hand the AI race over to China, and the China data centers will come here anyway. But when they come here, they're not going to care about your water. They're not going to care about your power. They don't think at all. And it makes me wonder: are they legit? Do they really believe this? Are they? I don't think that they're dumb, but it's like, are they just? I think that government overreach is bad. But we have to have a civil society, and it's like, do you not like cops? Do cops not surveillance things that are happening? What exactly do you people want? I just don't get it. You know what I mean? So, I'm trying to keep my simulation going. But I'm looking at them and I see their post and what do you fight? Like we have bigger things to worry about. Government, like not caring about balancing its budget. Basically, who do we have to vote for? Like we've already seen that. I guess it's coming out. It's came out that China has influenced our elections, and pretty much it doesn't like to me. Like I look at the elections, and I'm just like I don't care. Like I'm not gonna vote. Who am I gonna vote for? These Republicans who puts Israel first, or am I gonna vote for these communists? I'll vote for Gen Z because Gen Z is not too happy, and I'll stick with Gen Z. We'll leave it at that. But because kids are the future, and that's what that's what people need to understand is kids are the future. So I'm for Gen Z. And it's just like it's just like you want me to go and vote for people who are Israel first? Really? Oh, but the board. Okay, well, I guess if the communists get in there, I know that it's not sustainable anyway. Then I guess they can hold the bag from when everything collapses, and it'll be easier to reform the government at that point. The Republicans are making a stronger government. And it's not like I'm siding with the communists or anything like that. It's just like, I look at, there's not much I can do anyway. I don't have any influence. The elites are the ones that really control everything. And that's why I'm really anti-rich people at this point. Because they're the ones that control society. They're the ones that are dictating everything. They're the ones that the government officials listen to. They don't care about us. And to be honest, like the whole elections, like who trusts it? Like who trusts it? After what we've seen, like we're gonna do mail-ins, like, and then all of a sudden a big batch comes, and we have states that can't figure out who won that day. You're having weeks later to figure out who won. And you think that I want to participate? Like, I'm going to waste my time? Okay, then the communists, then they round me up. What am I going to do? Well, they try to round us up, like, then we fight back. Then it's over. Like, we're going to have a civil war. And when they start trying to round people up like that, then it's on. Like, then it's go time. And that's what I'm saying to you Democrats. Like, you want to start trying to round us up, then it's go time. But I voted for Trump because I was hoping that we can have some semblance of stability. I don't see it. Seemed like a big... I wasted 10 years of my life supporting him. And there's the hope that maybe he is just playing the 4D chess right now, and when the elections are over, he goes ham. He takes the gloves off and he actually starts fighting for Americans. And actually, you know what I mean? Like deporting people. I guess they're all like, oh, we deported 3 million people. Wow. So we passed the big, beautiful bill to barely deport anybody. Like, Barack Obama probably was on track to deport more people than whatever Trump is doing. I think Biden might have even deported more. He let people in, I don't know. I don't know what the heck that was. Maybe they're just putting on a show. And people are just tired of politics because it was like it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? I don't have a say so. I do have an interest. It does, because I have common sense and I have awareness, And I want to see America do good. I don't want to see it collapse. I want to see it become what it should be. You know, we should have like immaculate cities. If we have a couple cities that are run down, you know, that's whatever. But our cities should be beautiful. Our infrastructure should be amazing. With all the money, with all the debt that we've acquired, to see that if we were sitting at 40 trillion and everything was looking immaculate, well, we actually had these 15-minute cities, which I actually want to live in. Oh, you want to live in a... Yeah, I want to live in a 15-minute city. I don't want to drive a car. Part of the reason why I'm working the job I'm working is because it's only 1.5 miles away. I don't want to drive 30 minutes a day to work. I don't want to do that. I'd like to be able to walk. I like being able to walk to the grocery store and pick up a couple of groceries and walk home if I have to, if I want to. Walk to work. I've been biking to work the last couple of weeks. Bicycling. I like that. I would rather, like I said in my last video, I would rather walk an hour than drive an hour. But yeah, you know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see our environment just look like crap while we have all this debt. We have all these people that are just these foreigners that we're funding. Not only are we funding because like they're coming here and like, you know, we're bringing in people who need to be taken care of. And it's like, okay, if you want to help these people, go take care of them where they live. It's a lot cheaper. Trust me, it's a lot cheaper to take care of them where they live than to bring them here in this like expensive place and take care of them because they don't have the intelligence to be in a first world country. It's just, and then all these foreign wars we have to keep going through, funding all this. Like, why do we have to keep funding the military so much? It's just tiresome. The whole thing is just tiresome. And to have these people sit here and complain about the flock cameras and government surveillance when the government has already been surveillancing us for the longest time, you know, whatever's the Patriot Act, you know, back during the W. Bush era, after 9/11. Here's another thing I want to talk about too. You know, real quick before I end this video, listen, people want to give Gen Z and crap because they look at 9/11, which was a travesty. I witnessed the second plane hit that tower on TV live, and then I watched them collapse live, both of them. So for me, that was a huge emotional thing. But you have to look at it from their perspective. They weren't alive then, or they were really, really small. Like they you know, they didn't know. To understand where they're coming from, look at Pearl Harbor, look at the Titanic. You can look at the Civil War. Look at any time of history where you had a mass amount of people die at once. Complete travesties. But you look at that and you're like, it's a part of history. You're not emotionally connected. A lot of people die, but it's like, if it happens in your era, so like if I would have been there back in Pearl Harbor times and heard about that, lived through that would affect me big time. You know, but like, since I didn't live when that happened, it's like, same thing with the Holocaust. It's kind of like I look at things and I'm like, When I look at slavery, I'm like, I don't care. Like, that's ancient history. It's like looking at Egypt when they had slavery, like everyone else. Horrible thing. We don't have it no more. Horrible. But it's like, dude, that's ancient history, and it was a horrible. That people have to understand. It might have affected you. And you know what? There could be something that happens now where it's a huge travesty where a bunch of people perish, and it affects Gen Z. But guess what? A couple decades from now, the kids that come up then will be like, like they won't have that emotional connection because they didn't live through it. So like that's the psychology. It's not like they don't. I guarantee you, if something like 9/11 happened now, it would affect Gen Z tremendously. Okay, you have to look at it like that, and you have to be realistic about things. You have to be realistic. Like, look at the things that I talked about. Does it really emotionally, like, if you're around my age, if you're a little bit older, a little bit younger, and you lived through 9/11, what affects you more when people talk about 9/11 or Pearl Harbor? Like, what gravitates you more emotionally? Probably 9/11 because it happened during your lifetime, right? And that I'm not trying. I'm just saying, like, listen, man, like, this is a part of being a human. You have to have that emotional connection. And that's why you see a lot of people that look like me. They're like, slavery, I don't really care. Like, get over it. It's way in the past. I know that's bad to say, but it's like, that was such a long time ago. The Holocaust. Don't care. And it's a horrible thing, horrible. And I'm not saying like, oh, that was great. I'm not saying that was great. I'm just saying, like, that was a long time ago, dude. Like, that was way before my time. I don't emotionally connect. I guarantee if I lived back then, it would affect me tremendously. So if there's anybody that's older, oh yeah, listen, man, you have to understand. If you're older and the Holocaust affects you, or like the Pearl Harbor or the JFK killing, any of that's happened to you, what about the Civil War? How do you feel about that? All those people that died in the Civil War? What do you hold more weight to? You know what I mean? Like, you're probably going to be like, oh, okay, let's take the Holocaust out of it, because a lot of people passed away with it. But you could say the Dark Ages, when we had the Black Death or whatever it was called, the Black Plague. How many people died and perished from that? So it's just like, it's the psychology and the emotional attachments to world-changing events that happen in your time. You're going to be more emotionally connected than you would be if something happened a long time ago, which could be probably worse than, say, the Holocaust, worse than 9/11, right? Which is worse, the Holocaust or 9/11? Probably the Holocaust, right? More people died. More people died. So, like, but for you, it's probably 9/11. You know what I mean? But whatever. So, like, the whole surveillance things and all these people, like, I don't even know. I just, you know what? The reason why I got back on Twitter is because I'm bored. Plain and simple. I just want to talk crap to people. I just want to argue. That's why I got on Twitter. I'm back on Twitter because I just want to argue with people. And I'm trying to be a little bit more sophisticated with my language. Try not to be as vulgar. Try not to use the vulgarities like I was. And with videos here, you hear me say the F word in my last video, and I'm trying to just not say that stuff on here. I want to try to be more sophisticated. But yeah, and there's a lot of cultural divides going on right now. I think that there's certain things we need to leave in the past and move forward to something better, because it's not working. Like, that culture is just toxic, and it's not something that we want everywhere, because if we allow that to be everywhere, then you will have a Mad Max situation. It's not good. It's not good to be like, I don't care about nothing. I don't give a damn about nothing. It's not good to have that mentality. You need to care about the future. You need to care about your future. You need to care about the people around you's future. You need to care about the future of our country. And you can have compassion for people who are foreigners, but then why don't you go help them where they're at? We don't need to be bringing all these people here because of your compassion. Go where they're at. Help them there. I mean, for me, it's hard for me to have compassion when I am struggling hard. That's like how can I just be like, for some of the stuff I said in this video? It's because I'm struggling so hard. It's hard for me to be like, dude, I am like just trying to survive. And you want me to think about social things? You want me to think about little social things? Really? Really? When I'm being screwed too? You know what I mean? It's like, no. And you want to tell me that I have privilege or something because of how I look, or like me being born the way, like how I am? Like, it's like, this society is so superficial, and I don't relate. I'm becoming less and less. I just don't want to be a part of the superficial. Like, I will say this before I end this video. I'm not in good shape. I just weighed myself, and I'm about 210 pounds. I feel horrible. I feel like my fat is dragging. I looked at myself in the mirror, my love handles, and I'm like wearing one of these tight shirts. I'm like, my love handles, it's so gross. I can feel it, like it's just like a drag, rubbing. So gross. I need to get myself in better shape. But I'm looking at my motivation. You know, I can't look at to get in shape like I did before. Before it is like, I want to be attractive to women so I can bring them into my life. The reason why I want to get hot now is so I can ego check them. So I can have that higher, so they can look at me and they're attracted to me, and I can reject them. Because that's what they deserve. That's what they need. They need to feel humbled. Okay? So, like, I was walking to the supermarket today, and, you know, I got my cargo shorts. Usually I would go out in sweats, some basketball shorts. I put on some cargo shorts, wearing the same t-shirt. You know, had my sunglasses on. I wear them like this. I'm not gonna go like I'm some type of celebrity walking like I'm indoors. It's so weird to me, like people. But anyway, people could do that. But I have like this on, like, cool, and my peripheral vision, like I'm walking, and I'm walking towards there's a female, I can see her, and she's a young woman. I don't know how young, and I can tell she's looking at me, and I just walk right past her, not even looking at her, like, and it made me feel good. It made me feel good to not give them anything. To make myself, that's my inspiration to better myself, is to be able to do that. Is that toxic? Yeah, sure. But I live in a toxic society. So why not? And like I said, to humble some of these women. Am I hot right now? No way. I got some work to do, buddy. I got a lot of work to do. I got a good 30 to 40 pounds to lose. I don't have to be ripped. I don't have to be like muscle guy, but I get myself down. My face will look better. And perhaps I'll start getting a regular haircut. You know, I keep my hair short right now because I work in a really, really hot environment. So I keep my, you know what I mean? I can work on some things. I can work on my appearance. And when I get my body right, I can definitely, it put me in a different stratosphere than what I'm at right now. And probably where a lot of guys were at, where you're sitting here like competing, and it's like, what does it matter? Does it matter? What do relationships matter? They're not gonna stay. There's no way I can. There's no way I can compete with her being on her live and getting all the validation from all these guys on the internet. But what I could do is when they see me in person, because I'll start going out more, I could check their egos. And that's what you could do too if you're depressed in your life, if you're thinking to yourself, man, I really want a woman, but what are you gonna do anyway? I mean, you could just sit here and smoke weed and get fat. You could do that, but you could switch it around as well, and it makes you feel a little bit better. But yeah, I gotta get back to my workout. I figured I'd make a little quick video talking about flat cameras, and I talk about all this other stuff. But I think this stuff is pretty important, and it's crazy because I think nobody else really wants to be authentic and real, and talk about how things really are. You know, I hear about it, but on the internet, but I don't want to do this. But when I see their egos, like they think that they're like so much, it's like, okay, two can play at this game. I can make myself attractive. I'm not gonna be the hottest guy out here. I'm realistic. But I could sure make myself look a hell of a lot better than I look now. I know how to carry myself. I have good posture. And my social skills, I can pull off the NPC, like just default. I can throw a little bit of banter. But to have that, just you know how good that felt? Like to walk by a young woman and not even look at her. You know how that made her probably feel? That made her probably feel so small, because every guy's like, and I just walk right by and I don't. That's where I want to get to, like every single one of them. Just before I worked out, I wanted to better myself because I wanted to be with as many women as I possibly could. I look at them now and I'm like, I don't know. Am I gonna get an STD from you? Here's another thing too nobody talks about. I need to talk about this. Think about this too. Think about this. You get involved with the woman and you could be friend zoned. You're talking with this woman, and she goes out with the wrong guy, and something happens to her. The guy she's with makes her disappear. What is the police gonna do? They're gonna look through her texts. They're gonna look at through who she's been messaging, and look where they're gonna look. They're gonna come and talk to you. You're gonna be a suspect. You're in her life. She's out messing with all these bad boy guys that are just using her. And maybe like, he gets upset and then does something to her horrific. Now this is rare, but this is something that you have to think about. You have to be aware about. She's out frolicking with all these different guys, talking to all these different guys, and maybe she's and maybe she's not sleeping and she's just friends, but like she's interacting, and he gets jealous and does something to her, and then now you're a suspect. That's something that guys have to think about as well. Not only if you do get intimate with her, she might change her mind. He did something. He did this, and I didn't want that. And then now you're gonna go to prison for So it's just another thing that we have to worry about. For me, it's like, if I'm gonna take a woman serious for a relationship, she's gonna have to put a lot of work in. And she's going to have to demonstrate that she doesn't have a lot of other suitors around. She's not, I'm not playing that game. You're either talking to only me, or see ya. I'm not going to put myself in that position any longer. I don't want any STDs. I don't want to get an STD, give it out. Something I thought I did in the past. You know how horrible you feel? You get an STD. I didn't get one, but you think you get one, and then you think you pass it on to somebody. It's a horrible feeling. Especially if you got a bunch of, and then you have to go through. I was so irresponsible. I always protected myself. I always, wore the proper protection. But if I was to get something, I didn't know. I didn't remember their names. I deleted their phone numbers. You know how hard. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't even contact them and hey, listen, I got an STD. I might have given you STD. I can't even do that. It's a big risk. It's a big risk. So I hope that guys really take things serious, and I think Gen Z, like, they really get it. They pretty much want pure women. And hey, if you're a woman, you really have no business talking to a bunch of guys. If you're in a relationship with a guy, you shouldn't be talking to any other guy. Like, I don't care. You can say every blue moon, hey, how's everything going? You can check on them, like, look at their social media. You don't need to have an everyday conversation. They don't need to be your best friend. I don't care if they're gay. You don't need to do that. Would you like if it was the other way around? No, you wouldn't. So you need to treat people how you want to be treated, and that's what's happening. And a lot of guys feel like they have to be. There's a lot of guys that feel like, man, the only way I can have this woman in my life, and she's my wife, she's my partner, is that I have to let her go be with other men too. Like, that's what we're getting. I won't ever put up with that. I won't put up with cheating. I'm not putting up with that. It's like, if you want to be with other guys, then you don't need to be around me. But so that's the end of the video.